Hi, I'm Mindy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing my week 2 wrap-up for February Fantasy Stories, which has been Sword and Sorcery week. And I read a lot of things for week 2. First, I read 2 comics for the week. And the first one was Skullkickers Volume 1. And this is about a couple of adventurers that are a team, take on adventuring jobs for money in this town. Not exactly loved by the leaders of the town, and they're kind of brash. And anyways, this was not my favorite. There were some laugh out loud moments that I really enjoyed. The art was good, but some of the humor did not land. It was very juvenile and kind of cheesy, I guess. But anyway, it was good. The action was great, so I don't know. I gave it 3 stars. It was okay, but I probably won't continue on with the series. Then I read Rat Queens Volume 4, and I love this little band of adventurers. This is a very, pretty, I don't know how I would describe it, maybe raunchy comedy, but it is stinking hilarious. There is a lot of drinking, drugs, that sort of thing. This one, there's another band of adventurers that are their doppelgangers or the gender swapped versions of them. It was pretty funny. And they kind of have to work together to complete this quest in this book. And I will continue on with this series. I really, really enjoy it. It's just a good time. And on top of my comic books, I've read a lot of short stories, which I recently had a video where I picked all my short stories I was going to read for the week. I didn't get to all of them. I picked way too many. So I didn't read anything from one of the 3 anthologies, but I read all the stories I picked from the other 2, and I'm not going to talk about all of them because some of them I didn't like or didn't get a lot out of, or I don't remember a whole lot. It just didn't make too much of an impression on me. But here are my standout stories for the week. First, the stories from Sword and Sorcery anthology. I really liked Black God's Kiss by C.L. Moore, which features a female warrior, Jarell of Jory, and this is the first story that featured Jarell of Jory. And in this one, she loses to this horrible warrior, Gilame, and he forces a kiss on her when she loses to him, and she is pissed. She is so mad, and she goes into this secret entrance into another dimension underneath their castle, and she goes looking for a weapon to kill Gilame. And this was, I loved Jarell. I want to read more of her stories. And the other dimension thing, that is so cool. And it was very descriptive and pretty creepy in this other world. And Black God's Kiss is definitely a story I recommend. I also liked The Tale of Hawk by Paul Anderson, which was a Viking-inspired story. And It's about this man, Hawk, comes back to his hometown, and his father is dying of sickness, and he does not want to die sick in bed. He wants to die a warrior because of the Viking traditions and whatnot. But he dies sick in bed. But Dad is not having it. He comes back to haunt the town, and Hawk has to figure out what to do with Ghost Dad. It's so cool. The writing was somewhat, I don't know how to describe it, maybe dense, a little hard to understand at times, but the story itself was great, and by the last half I was completely invested and loving it. So Tale of Hawk was a really good story. And then my standouts from Swords and Dark Magic, new Sword and Sorcery, the story Bloodsport by Gene Wolfe was just a very cool idea. It had this man, or this boy that is taken to become a part of this game. He's trained with a bunch of other people and becomes a knight. And it's kind of like chess, only played with real people. So the knight, he has a horse, and he's made to battle all these other players. Kind of like a fighting pit, a Colosseum type thing. He wins almost all the time, and then he loses to this pawn. And pawns are all really large, large warrior women, and they fight with no armor. They have huge swords, like huge, that a knight couldn't even pick up. So anyways, he loses to this pawn, and then they become friends, and they decide to leave the game, run away together, and then it goes from there. Adventures ensue, and surprise ending, and just, it was a great story. I really loved it. I also read The Sea Troll's Daughter by Caitlin R. Kiernan, which really stood out as well. And it's about this mystery woman appears in a town and is claiming that she killed a sea troll for the townsfolk. And she tells the people the story, and they don't really believe her until the body of the sea troll appears. And they're like, oh, we never doubted you. Anyway. But anyways, so she's wanting to get a reward for killing this monster for the town. So she's staying in town. She's a bit of an alcoholic. She's drinking her days away, and she starts a relationship with the barmaid, and she ends up meeting the family of the sea troll. And it was just her tale of defeating the sea troll was epic. It's just very adventurous, very strange kind of story. Just magical LGBT fantasy at its best. I really enjoyed that one. And then my favorite story that I read this week was called In the Stacks by Scott Lynch, who is also the author of The Lies of Locke Lamora, which I am almost done reading and really loving. This story is right up my alley. I love it, and I bet a lot of you guys would love this story as well. Check out In the Stacks, because it is about a wizard school. Kind of feels like college or something. And it's the wizard school finals, and they're taking place in the magical library. And their task is to put away these magical grimoires where they belong. Libraries, books, and the books are magical, so they're like moving themselves, and they create creatures that live in the library and that they have to fight or outsmart. And man, this was the perfect story. It's all about books, language, libraries, magic, creatures. What's not to love? Oh my gosh, I love that story. So that's what I read for Sword and Sorcery Week. This coming week, I'll be reading lots of dark fantasy, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'll be back soon to let you know how my dark fantasy reads go. Bye!